The Great American Conference is coming to you live from the Bank of the Ozarks Arena here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Arkansas Tech 34-0, Harding 27-5, both looking to secure an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Bank of the Ozarks Arena in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And the GAC Sports Network is pleased to present to you this afternoon the Conference Championship 2017 for volleyball here in the conference, as Arkansas Tech looks to complete an undefeated season. Harding would like to put a stop to that today. We are about to hear the national anthem here and get things underway from the Bank of the Ozarks Arena. An automatic bid is on the line to the NCAA tournament. We'll be back in just a moment on the GAC Sports Network. That was local senior Josh Martin performing the national anthem to get things underway here in Hot Springs. Good afternoon again. I'm Joey McWilliams along with Paul Smith today and Stormy Leonard, as it is a privilege to get to bring you GAC Volleyball Championship Edition. A shout out to Michael Westbrook, who is on assignment, by the way, in Weston, Louisiana a little bit later on this afternoon. So they've left the shop with us today, Paul. As we look at the bracket, it has come down to two, and I believe you would say it like this, and then there were two.
And then there were two, and they were the top two seeds entering championship play. Number one seed Arkansas Tech entering today's matchup with a record of 34-0. 27-5 Harding standing on the other side of the court. These two teams met twice during the regular season. The first time at Tucker Coliseum, Arkansas Tech won a 3-0 matchup. The second time in Searcy was a little bit closer. Harding had match point a couple times but could not convert. The Golden Suns kept their perfect season alive and have still yet to be defeated. At 34-0, the Golden Suns needing to win this one, however, to advance the NCAA tournament, as the winner of this game will get that automatic bid.
For Arkansas Tech and Coach Christy Byer, it is her 14th season at the helm in Russellville. She has led her team to 13 consecutive winning seasons. And of course, she had a winning season locked up at the midpoint of this season already, with an undefeated record right now at 34-0. Needing to get to 35-0, unfortunately, to make the NCAA tournament. We bring in the third member of our crew right now, and Stormy Leonard. You had the opportunity to get to play against Arkansas Tech this season a couple of times. Obviously, they're undefeated, a couple of losses. Stormy Leonard, a member of the Ouachita Volleyball program. What's it like to go up against Coach Byer?
She always brings a tough team. They're always competitive in every position. I mean, their depth is unbelievable. They have a player that they can put on the court at any time, anywhere. And so I think that she brings a lot of competition in every game, and she's a super competitor herself, so you see that when she coaches them.
Arkansas Tech, it's well documented, undefeated at 34-0, and there behind her players is Coach Meredith Fear in her 6th season at the helm at Harding, an alum who played on the Harding volleyball team during her time there. She's done nothing short of great things at the helm. She's led her team to back-to-back conference championships in 2012 and 2013, and back once again to the tournament final for the first time in 4 years. It's been a while since we've had an Arkansas Tech and Harding tournament final, and she has her program now at 27-5 on the season. Paul, any other year, you might say 27-5, that's just pretty good. It's tough to match up against a 34-0, but what she's done with the program this year and the Lady Bisons is fantastic.
Well, I think what Meredith Fear has established at Harding is a tradition of excellence, and this is a team that is always there from the start to the end of the year. And, as she would tell you, it's been a while since they've been to that championship match, so she was definitely glad to get back here. The thing to look out for here with Harding is this is a team that may be playing its most efficient offensive volleyball of the year. 11 of the past 12 matches, they've hit a 200 or better, and not that they were slouching before that. This is a team that top to bottom has been very good since the start of the season. I think when you have a 34-0 team, sometimes a little bit of that attention gets taken away, but let's not pretend that this match is going to be anything other than what it is, a dogfight.
And that much is certain between teams that are rivals. We're set to get things underway again from the Bank of the Ozarks Arena here in Hot Springs as Madison Nagel serves for Tech to get things going here. The block for Harding right off the bat. Defense is key. Stormy, it is something that we have seen from Arkansas Tech. They strike quickly, and it seems like that just flows with what is an amazingly powerful offense as it is. How important is it today for them to keep on striking quickly and get the points to come across at a rapid pace like that for Hunter Eschner, who gets Tech on the board?
I just think that Tech brings something a lot of the teams in our conference don't always get the opportunity to. They bring height and they bring power. I think their biggest asset on the court is how well that they can attack the ball. I think that it's key for them to start out early, really putting pressure on the Harding defense, which is something Harding's very good at, but Tech just has so many weapons that it's hard to counteract that.
Well, one of the weapons for Harding, you see right there, number 10, Zoe Harden with the block, and so Harding gets a second point. Starters really quickly now for the higher seed, the top-seeded Arkansas Tech, and on the court, along with the libero as well, Hunter Eschner, Meredith Darnell, Greer Rogers, Amanda Milnick, Tabitha Spray, Lexi Johnston, and Madison Nagel, and it's just checked in, Marissa Drevenot, as Tech gets a second point. Harding starters look like this: Emily Smith, Emily Clayton, Madison Poon, Zoe Harden, Emma Reeves, Rachel Heisner, and Taylor Lake, Taylor Eubank also having just checked in for the Bisons. Well, blocks for both teams, scoring points right off the bat, and that's, I think, key, probably more so even for Harding, to get the defense going.
Well, these are two of the top three blocking teams in the Great American Conference. Oklahoma Baptist #1, Tech 2, Harding 3. This is going to be a big factor in the match, is who can establish that block.
Lexi Johnston gets the kill. Lexi Johnston, the GAC Freshman of the Year, and she's been nothing short of special during the conference tournament. If for her debut before this crowd at Hot Springs, hitting .435, what a treat it's been to watch her.
She's had a special year and has really turned it up here in the conference tournament.
hit 412 for the season, led the GAC in that category. As a matter of fact, there was not another player in the GAC that hit even better than 380. And Johnson hitting 412. She's hit 435 through 2 matches here coming into today's final.
When you look at the youth on the court for Arkansas Tech right now, Joey, this is something I've mentioned to people during the year. There's one senior in the lineup for Arkansas Tech in libero, Madison Nagel. You've got a sophomore, Amanda Milnick, who was Conference Player of the Year and Setter of the Year. Lexi Johnston, of course, here, Freshman of the Year. This is a team that could get better next year.
Which should be scary for the conference and, honestly, for the Central Region. We'll talk about the Central Region and the implications of this tournament final in a few moments, as we definitely want to let you know exactly what is on the line here. Lexi Johnston set to serve for Arkansas Tech. Tech in the net that time, so point for Harding. We have a very tight contest here. Harding trailing by just 1 point. Now, it's a different broadcast booth today, as often you're used to seeing and hearing Paul out and about. He's seated to my right on press row now, and seated to my left is Stormy Leonard. Maybe a little bit different, as she's dressed a little bit differently today than usually we see her at a volleyball tournament. Playing for Washita, her team was eliminated in the first round against a very tough Oklahoma Baptist squad, and you all had quite a match. Won the first set. OBU comes back, and I guess the Oklahoma OBU, sorry, comes back and wins 3 sets. Talk about what it means to play in a tournament like this before this crowd.
I think it's nice for us at Washita because, I mean, we're the closest team to the 2 Hot Springs. We're 45 minutes away, so we're always able to get a lot of our fans here. It's a big arena. We don't really play in anywhere like this. Maybe Southwestern's pretty close to it, but not quite as big. So it's a little bit of an adjustment, little depth perception change. But I think it's nice to have this nice of a venue for our conference tournament for sure.
Well, Anderson called for the carry that time, which gives Harding the point. And she tried to just tap that over, maybe direct it a little bit. Coach Byer, a little bit of a discussion with the officiating crew here. You know, you talk about having a crowd being able to come and be a part. As Coach Byer, I don't think she's necessarily satisfied with the explanation. But the Washita crowd that comes here faithfully each year, you talk about the fact they're here. The people know they're here. They're vocal.
Yes, they're very vocal. We've been lucky the past 2 seasons to have a big fan base. I mean, fans do make a difference. I think Harding is a great testament to that. When you play on Harding's court, it's hard to get a win there. So I think that environment and crowd really plays an effect on how you play.
That one's in for Emma Reeves, the junior from Topeka, Kansas, and she puts Harding on top now, 7-6 here in our first set.
3-0 run for the Lady Bisons.
This is one of their strongest rotations with their setter back row, having all 3 hitters up front.
Set from Heisner, and the kill for Harding, and now a 2-point advantage. Rachel Heisner, the setter of the year in the Great American Conference, has had a fantastic season, and during the second match in our tournament, the semifinal, she crossed the 1,500 assist mark for her career with the Lady Bisons.
I think Rachel's done a really good job this year, stepping into a role that she didn't have last year with Abigail Glossop being their starting setter. But Rachel's come in and done exactly what they needed to do. She makes great decisions and really knows how to put the ball where it needs to be.
Another good kill that time for Arkansas Tech, and trailing by just 1 point. A little bit different feel right now, Paul, at least from this perspective, in the fact that what we've seen so far in the tournament are the quick kills from Arkansas Tech. When the points are going well, it happens very quickly. Harding seems to have slowed down the pace a bit.
Well, the thing is, in games between Arkansas Tech and Harding, nothing's going to come easy for either team. Each point, each rally is going to be a major battle, as we get a replay of that one. On top of that, Greer Rogers, and she knew it.
Fantastic block for the sophomore from Fort Smith. You know, there's something to being in the right place at the right time, too. You have just one person up on the net that closely, and when it comes straight to you, you have to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And again, blocking is a key part of the game for both of these teams. They are exceptionally good blocking teams.
I think an interesting matchup we'll watch today is between the middle blockers with Harding. So Harding, she's one of the best middle blockers arguably in the country, and with Lexi Johnson being a great blocker and hitter. She's ranked 3rd in the nation with her hitting percentage, and she offers a huge block. Greer Rogers as well. They're both super efficient and do work on both sides.
Kill that time for Emma Reeves. Reeves making some noise here in the first set. She has 2 kills and 5 attempts, hitting .400 on the afternoon so far. There's Rogers, you mentioned, and I haven't spoken much about Taylor Lake. Nice dig. Another assist for Milnick. Cross court with Eschner getting the kill that time. And what can be said about Amanda Milnick, Hall, the fact that not only the setter of the, the defensive player of the year, but setter of the year, excuse me.
Setter and player.
And player of the year. I mean, you get the double dip like that. And she can throw down a few kills as well.
Oh, she absolutely can. Comes in, swings it left-handed.
And a dig just to show she can do that, too, while she's at it.
I think Amanda is one of the most complete players in the conference. She can beat you in a lot of ways. And she has really come a long way since her freshman year.
Harding back on top by 2 in a game with many runs. A 2-point run, very important.
I don't think we'll see a big run from either of these teams just because they're both so competitive and they both have the firepower and the blocking power on their sides. And I think that having a long run would be pretty impressive for either one of them to get.
Tabitha Spray coming up big there for the Golden Suns, redshirt freshman. She's had a big tournament, 17 kills last night in the semifinal matchup. That's a career high.
Well, I want to clarify in giving setter of the year. I think I mentioned Rachel Heisner. I was trying to say she was a first teamer all GAC, and I think I may have given it superlative. I don't know that I have the authority to do that. Setter of the year is Milnick and Heisner, both though on the all GAC first team.
Well, I think you take a look at this conference. There are some very good setters in this conference. The 2 on the court, the one sitting at the table here with us. I mean, and it is such a key position to getting the offense going. I mean, I think you look at the offense that Arkansas Tech's had this year, they would not be where they are without somebody like Amanda Milnick setting that up for them.
I think that she's made a big difference in how aggressive and competitive they are in every position, because Arkansas Tech has huge hitters on all pins and in the middle, and then they've got power coming out of their setter, which is something that I don't think there's another setter in our conference that can do that.
By the way, speaking of the person at the table with us, too, she's an all-GAC second teamer. So I want to give credit to Stormy Leonard on that. Timeout on the court as Tech has gone on a run right now. They're up 13-11. We'll take a break back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Actually, we're going to talk about the bowl game here.
Oh, we are.
We're going to talk about the bowl game. The Great American Conference will be sending Arkansas Tech University to Texarkana on Saturday, December 2nd to face Pittsburgh State in the Agent Barry Live United Bowl. Here we see head coach Raymond Monica. And what a game. The game between the 2 best mascots in Division II. You won't see another matchup like that, Joey.
The Wonder Boys and the Gorillas. That's great.
That is fantastic. And in the 5-year history of this bowl game, there's been 10 different teams. No team has gone to this game twice. That game will be carried here, right here on the GAC Sports Network. Michael, Joey, and I will be on the call for that one. We are definitely looking forward to getting down to Texarkana. If you're a fan of Great American Conference football, invite you to make your way down there too. They've got a lot of events around the game, a pep rally Friday night, concerts. They've really rolled out the red carpet and are making a big event out of this Division II football showcase.
Well, it's a fantastic event. It's a fun place to be too, and we just hope for good weather this year. It's gone back and forth a few times, rough weather and then bright sunshiny days, and hoping for good weather, and should be a fantastic matchup on the field. Tech now trailed by 2 just a moment ago, up by 2, and misplayed that time at the net by Emma Reeves. Another point for Arkansas Tech. They're now up by 3.
And 3 may well be the biggest lead that either team has had today. And I think the way this match is going to go, a 3-point lead, is pretty substantial.
Well, unfortunate for Harding. That's back-to-back plays with just mishandled ball. Don't see that very often from this team.
Yeah, Harding's one of the most defensively efficient teams that we saw this year, and I'm sure Tech agrees. They just don't give up. They keep the ball in play, and they really make you make the mistake.
Well, Nagel chased it down but could not quite get it back into play, so fortunate for Harding, trailing now by just 3.
And I tell you, Joey, I could not agree more with what Stormy just said. Harding is a team that does make you make mistakes. They play very efficiently on offense. You know, not necessarily error-free, but pretty darn close to it.
Nice dig by Nagel, sends it all the way to the other side. Almost a defensive posture by Johnson just to keep it up and play for Tech. Eschner off the elbow. And a long rally here.
Wow.
What an effort that time by Harding just to keep that going. And did you notice who attacked that time? That was Milnick, and she wound up for that one.
Oh, and she can do it.
Something that I've noticed from Milnick this year, different from last year, is her ability to almost kind of fake you out. I think she's worked a lot on kind of concealing whether or not she's going to attack. I think she's made it look like her setting and hitting are very similar approaches, and I think that's really what's kind of taken her offensive threat to another level.
You know, Milnick was outstanding as a freshman. She had to split time as a setter. As we take a timeout here, Arkansas Tech leading Harding 17-12.
Back in a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Eschner serves for Arkansas Tech. It was Harding with the timeout, and Harding doesn't take advantage coming out. Tech now up 6, 18-12 as we're here in set number 1.
Joey, the play of Hunter Eschner over the last month has just been outstanding. She had a little bit of a mid-season lull, but she has come on strong, particularly in this tournament. You're seeing her attack the ball with a little bit more authority. Looks like she's probably feeling a little bit better than she has been.
Playing with an effort today. She's had a couple of kills so far. 3, as a matter of fact, with 8 attempts, she's hitting .375. And you know who's leading the way right now for Arkansas Tech in hitting percentage? Amanda Milnick. 6 assists, she has 2 kills, and 4 attacks. She's hitting .500. Oh, and a couple of digs along the way, too.
Well, and here's the thing to consider about Amanda Milnick is even if she couldn't set a lick, she'd still be an outstanding right side hitter.
I think that's been a great move on Coach Byer's part, making her a full-time 5-1 setter. I think that having her do both has really made her a bigger weapon, and it's really messed up some teams because they don't know how to defend her.
Well, and they didn't then either. Milnick with another kill. That is her 3rd on the afternoon. She's hitting .600 right now.
And I'll tell you, one other weapon that the Golden Suns have that you haven't seen on the court all tournament is the other setter on the bench, Emily Acker. There have been times when the offense has gotten out of sync, and Coach Byer will turn the offense over to Emily, use Amanda as a pure right side for a couple of points, and it really shakes things up.
Emily Acker, a freshman, the only player that's listed as a setter on the roster, freshman from Denton, Texas. And that one's sent out, so point to Harding, as right now they trail by a touchdown, 21-14.
I think that's something that Arkansas Tech really beats other teams at, is just their depth. The fact that you can have another setter that come in and do exactly what your full-time setter does is something a lot of teams don't have, and I think that's been crucial to their success because if something's not working, Coach Bauer has numerous options in every position to really take back over the game.
Billy, speaking of touchdowns, the Harding Bison's football team in action today up in Indianapolis. That game suspended due to lightning for over an hour now. But the Bisons are on top 14-10 in the second quarter.
Harding can't bring that one in. And, Paul, I know that you have another score for us as well, another GAC football team in action today.
Yeah, this one a final from Big Rapids, Michigan. Ferris State knocking off Ouachita Baptist 24-19 in their first-round matchup. That was one that came down to the wire. But give all credit to Coach Todd Knight and his Tigers. They hung really well against one of the best teams in the nation in Ferris State.
Well, one more opportunity for the GAC, but that one's in lightning delay right now. But a fantastic season for Ouachita, closing out well and coming away, playing in the postseason. 3 GAC football teams in the postseason this year, along with, as we mentioned already, Arkansas Tech.
Yeah, shortly after that lightning delay started, I sent a text message over to my good friend Billy Morgan. And I said, man, they've just ginned up some bad weather to slow you guys down today.
Tech 2 points away here in the first set, and a low pass to Milnick. And it's not successful that time. That one goes to Harding. And that play never really got going, though, as Nagel a little bit low to getting across to Milnick. She couldn't set.
Yeah, it was not the best initial pass.
Harding really has to capitalize on putting a lot of pressure on Tech's defense and passing game right off the serve to take them out of system, which they are strong in every aspect of the game, but definitely it's no team's strongest option when they're out of system. So I think that getting them out of system is a key to Harding's success.
And that's something Harding does as well as anybody in the country, is get the opposition out of system. And I think we go back to just how efficient they've been on the offensive side. When you are efficient and you're not making errors, it is very easy to get that other team on their heels.
Set point now. Darnell to serve. Harding with an opportunity. And the block successful. And we've talked about the offense for Tech, the defense on display here in set number 1. And the Golden Suns come away with a 25-17 win in our first set. We'll be back in a moment with more here on the GAC Sports Network.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes, college sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
No, please, please, oh.
The running of the bold dogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
When I set out to explore my future, I encountered many paths. I looked for a university that would prepare me for a successful career. A place to get rooted in an actively involved community. And find friends who would help shape my future. The decision was clear. Arkansas Tech University, the natural choice.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Well, it was tight at the beginning of the first set, and then Tech took over, and they're victorious in set number 1, 25-17. Paul, we take a look at some of the numbers from the first set. What stands out to you?
Well, I think Harding's hitting percentage being at 105. That's definitely not been their game in this tournament thus far. They made an uncharacteristically high 6 errors. Typically, from what I've seen in this tournament, they've made about 2 or 3 errors per set. So it seemed like as that opening set went on, initially very close, but then they may have started to press a little bit about the time they got to that 13-11 mark.
I think that shows on the receive errors. Actually, Harding having 4 passing errors, which is uncharacteristic, and I think that hopefully this set they will kind of fix that up, and I think that's when they got tied at when it started getting close and Tech got a little bit of a lead. They started to press a little bit and made some uncharacteristic errors.
And on the other side, Arkansas Tech was perfect in serve receive in that opening set.
And that was the point I wanted to get to as well. That was what Coach Beyer had specifically said that she thought was a key today. She really felt like her team needed to pass well today. Get the serve receive in there, no errors in that category, although 6 errors as well for Arkansas Tech over the course of the entire set, but none in that category. For an Arkansas Tech offense, Stormy, that really does things quickly, and we've mentioned that. Coach Beyer was talking about the importance of passing. Talk about what it means to pass the ball well.
Well, I think your player of the year is your setter, and so I think that they realize automatically that she's able to do that, and she's able to be successful because of their passing. Their passing has to be on at a high level to be able to set such a fiery offense. But because they're so big and competitive in every position, they don't necessarily need the best pass because they can terminate out of system and with bump sets or anything. So I think that their passing really just takes them to that other level that hardly anyone, maybe even in the country, can really compete with.
Rare miscue that time from Amanda Milnick, and Harding now with a 2-1 lead.
Those ball handling errors are very frustrating for a setter.
I think as a setter, as soon as that happens, especially on maybe a good pass, or your passer makes a huge dig, and you get that, it's just kind of a downer, but you just got to move on and get over. And I think Amanda and Rachel do a really good job of that because they know that their teams count on them. They've got to get over it as soon as possible.
And the kill for Arkansas Tech ties things up again. Harding, during the middle of that rally, used her elbow to keep it in play. We've seen that already twice in this match today. A couple of players using the elbow.
We have. Here's a point for you, though. That set right there from Milnick to Johnston, you'll be seeing that combo for 3 more years.
Exactly. Beware.
2 more years, sorry, 2 more years. Johnston will be there for you.
Heisler again. That one goes just a bit long for Harding. So Tech now on top here in the second set.
I think a strong setter-middle connection is crucial to team success. I got to experience that with one of the best middle blockers I've played with in high school and college with Corey Bullard. Just having that connection really kind of sets a standard for other people on your team, and you want to try to push that with everyone in the middle is the hardest to set. So establishing that connection Lexi's freshman year is huge for Amanda.
I wanted to ask you about that too, because after that kill from Foster, she finds just inside the near side of the court. From our perspective, it's 3-3. We've talked about Corey Bullard and what she's meant, not only to Ouachita, but I believe to the conference as well. A two-sport star like she is, and just a fantastic person as well. What's it like to get to play with her?
It's a blast. I mean, it's so funny. After the tournament, we went into a coffee shop, and she was the front page of the newspaper. She's the front page at the school newspaper. She's the front page of Hot Springs newspaper. So it's just been a blast. She's one of my best friends on the team, and I've been able to hang out with her for 3 years. And it's been a blast, and it's going to be a lot different without her next year. But, I mean, she just meant so much to our team as a leader and as a friend, as a player. She's just everything you ask for in a player and does it every day.
Well, Eschner kept that alive from her knees. This rally continues, and finally, it'll be a point for Tech as that goes out. Credit to Eschner for that point, a big part of that. In the previous two matches, we saw Arkansas Tech getting points very, very quickly. That has not been the case so far today. Harding really, with the defensive prowess, making this game, extending this game. And Paul, I would say that an extended game favors Harding.
I think so, too. I think, Harding is one of those teams that just stays and stays with you. And when you stay, you're going to have your chances to win. And Harding has the firepower to do it.
You see it there again, another point for Harding.
I actually experienced that this season with Harding. We were up 2-0 and they came back and won the last 3 sets. They're a team that doesn't quit. And I think Coach Fear does a great job in making adjustments. They made a huge adjustment when we played them, which I think really ultimately helped them have that level up over us. And I think that both of these teams can make adjustments when needed, which makes them really dangerous to any other team, because you can scout as much as you want, but they can make one change and it completely changed the flow of the game, which I've witnessed firsthand with Harding.
If I were going into today and I said, hey, Paul, I think that Amanda Milnick, midway through the second set, is going to be tied for the lead in kills for both teams, what would you have said to that?
I could see it. Nothing surprises me with this Golden Suns offense, especially with Amanda Milnick. Having had the chance to call play-by-play for a lot of Arkansas Tech's matches this year, I have been impressed repeatedly with what she's been able to do out there.
Milnick with 5 kills, no errors on 7 attacks. She's hitting .714. Oh, and by the way, she already has double figures in assists at 10. Service ace. And Harding ties it up, 7-up.
And that was just miscommunication on Arkansas Tech's part. Nobody called for that one. Nobody went for it.
I think that's going to be Harding's best asset for success, if they can just push that out of system, really get in between Tech's passers, serving in the gaps between the 1 and 6 and the 5 and 6 positions on the court, just because it's difficult. You make different crosses every time the ball comes over, and I think that Harding can really shove that gap and make a run with their serves if they continue to do that.
Well, Tech finally stops a 4-point run for Harding, and this one's tied at 8.
That was a very big point for Arkansas Tech. Golden Suns opened up about a 3-point lead in this set. Harding closed the gap, took the lead. Arkansas Tech was able to slow that run.
That one goes wide. Point for Tech.
Again, Joey, Harding with 4 attack errors in this set already. Very uncharacteristic numbers for the Lady Bisons.
Another point for Tech, and maybe a little mini run going the other way. This is the 89th meeting between these two in volleyball. Arkansas Tech, a milestone number in the last meeting, which happened just about a week or so ago. As we're almost involved in play, Paul. But about a week or so ago, won the 50th match in this series. So Tech leading the series right now 50-38. The number, though, for Tech fans to really be interested in, there are 2 or 3 numbers that Tech fans should be interested in from this volleyball team. One of them is the number 35, and that would be the win total if Tech can come away with a win in this championship match.
And I think looking at the historical matchups between these two teams, another key number is 3. The Golden Suns, if they are able to top Harding here, it will be their 3rd win in 4 tries against the Lady Bisons in GAC championship matches. Hard to believe that in the short history of this league, these two teams have met for the trophy 4 times now.
I think a number 3 would be important as well for Arkansas Tech, because it'd be the 3rd time this season.
Absolutely.
With 2 wins already in the books, how hard is it to beat a team 3 times in a season?
I was about to say that might play into Harding's success, just because they have seen them 3 times. They know how to scout. They have a great, I think Coach Fear does a really good job of scouting out the teams. But it's also, for Tech, it's just hard to beat someone 3 times. Unless there's a significant talent difference, which obviously we're seeing there isn't. Beating someone 3 times is tough, because the team that's gotten beat twice does not want to lose again.
That one off Lake. Goes awry, and Tech with another point. You know, I would imagine between these two, you talk about the scouting that goes on, and this is for either of you. Isn't the book already written between these two teams? I mean, it varies some at the start of the year, But Coach Beyer and Coach Fear now have matched up against each other in the head coaching position for 6 seasons. I would imagine that there is some scouting to be done, but there's a whole lot of, wow, we've seen this before.
There is, but I think what you have to look at with both of these coaches is they are 2 of the most intelligent, innovative coaches, and they know how to make adjustments during the match. And, you know, I think both of them will say, we've made this adjustment before, maybe it didn't work, so let's try something new. So there are new wrinkles that either coach can throw in at any time.
And I think it changes game by game, even though they have played each other 3 times. There's little things that they can adjust to within the match that they see, and I think both coaches do a great job of that. Coach Beyer, with the depth she has, when we played them too, you know, she can sub in one player really quick, and it can make the biggest difference. They might not get to come back and start the next game because you're pretty set on one of your lineups, but you know you have that person to go to when things aren't going well, and I think both coaches do a great job of adjusting middle of the game.
Tech, by the way, got that last point as one of the Harding players was across the center line. So that was what the stoppage of play was. Tech up 14-12. Milnick again. Wow. And the challenge card comes out. So we'll see. We'll get a chance for the first time in this match to slow things down and look and see what the officials are looking at as well.
I don't know if she's looking for it to be in or if a touch.
And we should get word on that as to what exactly the officials are looking for.
All right, we're going to take another look at this, and they are asking for in or out. And try to zoom us in on that back line.
That looked like it was in.
It did appear that way.
But my track record during this tournament, Paul, is not anything to write home about. Unless you want to talk about things that aren't going well. But I would say from this perspective, it looks like that
looks relatively conclusive right there. Yeah, that's in. That's going to be overturned.
So take that error off the stat of Amanda Milnick, give her 6th kill of the afternoon to go with 12 assists, 2 blocks, 5 digs. And I believe she's selling popcorn on the 7th row.
I was going to say, and a partridge in a pear tree if you're getting into that frame of mind.
My goodness. What a fantastic afternoon for Milnick so far. Attack from Reeves. She may get another shot at it. That one to Harden. And a double called.
Every time these two teams get together, you know you're going to see some outstanding volleyball. It is just a pleasure to sit here and watch it.
That one sent back to Harden, and the defense on cue again for Arkansas Tech.
And here's where Arkansas Tech so many times this year has kind of got that momentum, put the foot on the floor, and they have taken a run that has given them a 5-point lead.
And with that, timeout on the court. Harding takes it. We will take it as well. We'll be back in a moment with set 2 on the GAC Sports Network.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Hi, Connor here to show you around SWOSU and why we love it here.
Well, your friends are more like family.
I love the sports and concerts at the Pioneer Cellular Event Center and more than 100 clubs.
The small class sizes, 100 fields of study, and a nationally recognized pharmacy college. Close to OKC, the best place for me.
Tech serves with a 5-point advantage. And serve receive not going well for Harding here, even in the second set. Is Paul, a couple of players that you've seen over the years in Tech uniforms?
Yeah, two of Coach Christy Byers' assistants, Katie Huff and Emily Todd, going left to right here. Both standouts, all conference performers for the Golden Suns. Continuing a long tradition on Coach Christy Byers' staff. She has had several former players who have been assistant coaches for her. Two of them, several of them out there in the collegiate ranks right now. One of them, Kara Dukic, head coach down at St. Thomas University in Florida. Laura Farney, the assistant coach at Texas Women's. You know, there are several of them out there. Coach Christy Byers has the impressive coaching tree, to say the least.
Eschner has that hit the antenna. Both of those players, by the way, did win conference championships at some point during their careers as well, right?
Yes, they did.
I think bringing in past players to help as assistant or graduate assistant coach really continues the culture of your program. They've been involved for most of them 4 years, and I mean, I got to experience that having Faith Avalos and Abby Pickett there. They know how it works. They've been in a conference. They've seen some of the players that you're still playing if they were a little bit younger, and I think it makes a big difference because they can offer the coaching side now that they're off the court, but also the player side, understanding what it's like to be out there.
And on the other side of the court, too, that's one of the assets that Meredith Fear brings to Harding University, having been an all-conference player at Harding herself. You know, she understands the demands of a student-athlete at Harding University and is in a very unique position to relate that to her players.
Well, Harding has a number that's standing out right now, and that's the number 0. That's the hitting percentage for this set. 7 kills, 7 errors, and 25 attacks. That's a number that's going to have to change for the Lady Bisons if they're going to be successful at all today. And it just did.
Those things only have to fall one time.
Well, when you look down and you see zeros across the board there in hitting percentage, you know something's just not going right. And that one's in. That one looked to be close to a carry, but another kill for Milnick.
Well, I think the simple explanation here is Harding hasn't been able to really get into their flow, play their game. 13 errors thus far. It's just not what you're used to seeing. And still, this has been a really neck-and-neck match.
And I think you can kind of tie that together with the play in the middle from both sides. I think that both teams know the threat that each middle blocker offers on the offensive side, but also on the defense. You look up going against a net full of 6 foot or taller on one side. Even if you don't get blocked, it's a mind game. You know that they're there. Their presence is known. If you get blocked, you know you see it firsthand, and you know that when you go up, you've got big hands in front of you, and you've got to make adjustments. And I think sometimes hitters get a little bit too caught up in that and worry more about what the other team's doing instead of being able to do what they are capable of.
And Joey, one thing I think that you look at that may give the Arkansas Tech side a little bit of pause is that even though the attack errors are probably more than Harding would like, they're performing very well in a lot of other areas that's kind of made up for that deficit. So if between this second and third set or even going further into this second set, they're able to make a little adjustment that changes that, Harding's going to be very easily able to prolong this match.
Opening in the middle, and that was exploited that time by Arkansas Tech. Now again, 2 points away from taking another set. 23-17 the score. Amanda Milnick, her GAC Player of the Year skills on display here in this championship match. Great save by Foster. And Foster again in on this. And for Harding, Emily Smith with the kill.
And I think she can give some credit to Rachel for that assist, not just because it came from her, but the blockers jumped with Heisner, just like a lot of blockers jump with Milnick, because they offer such a big offensive threat on their own, that blockers sometimes give a little bit too much credit to the setter and trying to honor their ability to attack and don't stay with their hitter, and I think that was a perfect example of Rachel really setting that up for Emily.
Rogers finds a way to get that through the defense, and it is now set point here in our second set. 24-18 the score. There's Darnell to serve. Rogers keeps it in play. And that one goes a little wide for Milnick. Harding had the Tech defense back on its heels during that point. And the Lady Bisons trail now still by 5. Set point again. Madison Poon to serve. Tech staying with it. And Harding just 4 points down now. Poon still serving.
And I think what Harding's looking for right now is, even if they don't win the set, just finding some way to get momentum to go into that third set and hopefully push it to some extra games.
Well, Eschner with the kill is going to give Arkansas Tech the second set, and a pretty good lead here as we're in championship Saturday. And the championship match has Arkansas Tech on top, 2-0. Third set on the way. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back on GAC Sports Network.
If you're a free-range chicken, you roam free. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to GEICO. It's what you do.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
No, please, please. Oh.
The running of the Bulldogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I knew engineering would be a challenge, but that hasn't stopped me. Here, I could create a new organization and networking opportunities for women in STEM fields. At Arkansas Tech, I'm more than just a student. My name is Emily Torrealba, and I am a trailblazer.
Sets 1 and 2 have gone the way of the Golden Suns. Harding trying to make some adjustments now and getting ready to come out for set number 3 as their coach Christy Meyer will lead her team to a 35th consecutive win. Paul, I know we've talked about this a little bit as I visited with her before the tournament started. Is there pressure there, and do you feel it any at all? And she said yes. I mean, she was very honest about it. You know, you think about this, and 4-0, 8-0, okay, 12-0, yeah, well, the GAC schedule is going to start. Then you get into like 14 and 16-0, and she said at some point it became real. And then, you know, midway through, you've gone one time, partway through the schedule, you're in the second half of the schedule, and think, well, this could be done.
And it was not easy for them. The last week of the regular season got taken to 5 twice. Thank you, Stormy. And also Harding as well. And like we said, Harding had Arkansas Tech on the ropes in that 5th set, had match point a couple of times. To go undefeated, you not only have to be good, you have to catch breaks along the way.
Yes.
And Arkansas Tech has done that. They've made some breaks, they've caught some breaks.
Well, that goes wide. And so Harding will start off our 3rd set with the initial point. You know, and even something too, Paul, that's not talked about often in volleyball, I think, is maybe so much as you might talk about in football or basketball, and you have to play pretty much injury-free too. You know, you don't want to lose as much talent as Tech has on the court. You just saw a little bit more of it right there. You don't want to diminish you know, the pool with which you can send players out there. And I mean, it's been a fairly injury-free season.
It really has. Arkansas Tech has had a lot of things go right for them this year. And they've had a lot of things go right for them today. But again, you have to be good enough to take advantage of those breaks. And I think that, you know, there are a lot of teams that aren't good enough to take advantage of those breaks. 2 of them are on the court right now. As this one's just a little bit long. Another point for the Lady Bisons.
Thinking about this, if this was a good sign for Arkansas Tech driving in today. The front came into Hot Springs. I think it was warm last night, and the front came in this morning about 2.5, 3 hours before first serve here in the Bank of the Ozarks Arena. And even with a cold front coming in, the temperature dropping, the sun was still out.
Got a text message from back in Russellville this morning saying it was 71 degrees, so a Michigan boy like me is not used to that.
That's not the case here right now in Hot Springs. A little cooler than that. Digs on both sides. Another opportunity now for Johnston. And that one saved.
My goodness.
That's a great job by Nagel. Defense has really come up for Tech. If Harding can find a way to get to that back line, you have to get over to the defense first. And that's just not happening. Eisner nearly found it. Johnson does. In fact, they say she's in the net.
I've got to tell you, Joey, this Harding defense is playing with a little bit more intensity than we saw in sets 1 and 2.
I think so.
If anybody thought they were going to go quietly into the night, they were sadly mistaken.
Foster to serve now. See how that one scored. I know this. It scored enough that Coach Beyer has requested a timeout. So as we keep it right here in set number 3, Harding on top by 4. You know, Stormy, I know that you've played on teams surely that have come back from being down 2-0. What kind of mental aspect do you have to have when you look at the scoreboard and think, okay, we've got to win 3 sets in a row?
I think that a lot of our coaches encourage us to not look at as 3 sets as look at 1 point. And I think that that's something that Harding's going to focus on, is just taking it 1 point at a time. Don't worry about the 2-0. You look at it as a brand new game. You just got to win 3 sets. So I think that using that mindset instead of putting pressure on yourself by saying, we have to win these 3 sets in a row, you just take it 1 point at a time, focus on getting better every point, and really focus on what your side's going to do right and force the other team to mess up.
Coach Christy Beyer, the Coach of the Year in the GAC this year, her 4th time to win that honor, and rightfully so. You know, I would imagine there are times that you could probably look at the first team all-conference honors, second team all-conference honors, even at the individual player of the year or setter of the year, and think, well, you know, maybe this could be a different person. When you have a team that's 32-0 at the end of the regular season, there is no other person to be Coach of the Year.
No argument from me on that one, Joe. I mean,
the numbers are there.
The things you have to do to go
exactly
32-0.
You can have a talented team and not win, not even have a winning record with a talented team. So there has to be some direction there.
You get another look at this one. Hunter Eschner coming from the left side. A little bit of contact there with Harding. Gives Arkansas Tech the serve back.
Quick set that time as Johnson sends it through. And we've putting a couple of points on the board out of the timeout, Paul.
We have talked about some of the players on the Arkansas Tech offense. Another one didn't get the kill on this last play, but Allie Anderson. You talk about a player that has made some drastic steps forward from her freshman year. Really playing with a lot more confidence as a sophomore, and just another example of the offensive firepower that Arkansas Tech's brought to the court.
I think Allie's really coming to her own this season. Having played against her last year and actually being pretty good friends with her, it's fun to watch her. I think that this year, because she's gotten an opportunity to stay in the game and really get in on 3 rotations and not just 1 rotation here and there, and if someone messed up, I think it's really helped her get her confidence up, which she's a great player and should have all the confidence in the world, but I really do think that being able to play as much as she has really helped her step up her game.
That one goes into the net. Tech with a point. And I'm not a fan of taking a quick timeout, but for Harding right now, since Tech took the timeout, Harding has given up 4 points, and this one's tied up.
And I think if Tech gets another point, you probably would have seen Harding take a timeout.
I was looking at that.
Someone I wanted to give a little bit of shout out to is Emily Smith, another great freshman middle blocker in our conference. She's leading Harding's attack right now, hitting 500. And I think that Harding's excited to see what she'll be able to do in the next 3 years that she's a part of this team. She's actually Sarah Smith's little sister, the great middle blocker from Harding last year. And so it's fun to see her take over her sister's spot after she graduated and kind of make it her own and really be a threat for Harding's offense.
We often talk about the family of the GAC in many different aspects, but I don't know that there's a school that exemplifies family any better than what Harding does, especially when it comes to the athletic side of things. You just year after year see one player and say, well, you know, her sister played here before, his brother played here before. It just continues on like that. I think Harding does that like I said, exemplifies it as well as anyone.
And I think that goes beyond blood, too, because those players have a very deep loyalty to their program. In fact, just a couple of days ago, first round, had the pleasure to visit with former Harding standout Molly Arnold, who was here with her husband. I believe they're probably watching today. But she said she had to come back and see her old teammates, so it was obviously good to see them.
Her team up by 2 now, 8-6, make it 9-6. Taylor Mounts already in double figures in kills on the day, as she has 11 now. Hitting percentage maybe a little bit lower than what you would want, 176 now, but she's just been attacking and attacking. She's been a force to be reckoned with. Tell you what, I'm pretty sure nobody on the court right now in either color jersey is concerned in the least about her hitting percentage. Just trying to get that across and get something to fall.
Harding's defense again with great play right now, really stepping it up in this.
Well, you mentioned Anderson. And you mentioned Anderson. That's now her 6th kill on the afternoon. And Tech back to within 2.
Like a lot of the other hitters on Tech teams, Allie's tall. She has long arms. She reaches really well. Loves to cross court. I think that when that set comes in a little bit and she sees a split in the block, it's going down for her. So Amanda does a great job of realizing that and really seeing that and trying to get her the ball that she's most successful on.
And I really don't know that you'll see too many players in this league that can terminate just like Allie does.
Well, that one out off Tabitha Spray. Spray's had a good tournament so far. She was dominant in the match yesterday against Southern Nazarene. She has 6 kills on the day today. And the thing about Tabitha, she's had 3 aces so far today as well. I think that that's worthy of a little more mention than it's had. Arkansas Tech on the afternoon with 6 service aces, 3 of them at the hands of Spray. Here's Darnell.
I think that's something Harding wishes was on their side, seeing that they are a great passing team and maybe just not getting the job done as well as they had hoped against such a good serve like Tabitha has.
Hey, an update for the Harding fans. The football game in Indianapolis has resumed after a 132-minute weather delay.
Now, see the thing about that number? Harding can play a football game in 132 minutes, an entire game. So,
and Harding's still leading that game 14-10, and the Bisons have the ball.
That's why I'm glad I play an indoor sport. Weather usually doesn't affect our ability to play.
Great dig to keep that alive after fantastic defense at the net from Tech. The block for Harding. Well, you were mentioning Emily Smith. Get a chance to see Harding to keep this alive right here in the back. Fantastic job for Harding. Madison Poon has had a pretty fair day today already. Good tournament, too.
The last 2 games I've been able to watch her play, she just makes an incredible effort to get to the ball. You think it's going down, and she comes out of nowhere. And she's also got a super strong back row attack that I think helps Harding take a little bit of offensive pressure off their front row when they might not have all 3 hitters up there. And I think she does a great job at adding that fire back there.
Poon with 32 digs coming into this afternoon's match. She has 3 more on the day. That one just went over Lake. Greer Rogers celebrates again. Somebody give her the award today for right place at the right time. I mean, she's been up, played solid defense, and she's had 2 or 3 of them just come straight back to her.
She is an outstanding player. She has really made a big impact for Tech this year.
I think she's more of one of the biggest emotional leaders for Arkansas Tech. Both these teams are really kind of stay even kill, but you see a lot of reaction from Greer, especially when she gets a block like that.
Another player that just stepped up big time on that last sequence was Meredith Darnell, who has really had a big year for Arkansas Tech.
Emily Clayton that time. And finally getting the point for Harding is Emma Reeves.
One thing we're seeing different in this 3rd set than we saw in the first 2 sets is those blocks were falling down in play in the first 2 sets. They're going out now.
I think Harding really trying to attack the outside of those hands on the block. It's one of the hardest places to press over. So I think when you attack that, it's a lot higher kill percentage.
Heisler keeps that in play as Eschner just sends it over. Tell you what, points like this keep Milnick and Heisner busy.
They're running around everywhere. I think they've already gotten 20 attempts in this rally.
You know, I mentioned Reeves just a moment ago, who had gotten the point for Harding, and 2 consecutive points now for Harding after Tech had tied it up. Emma Reeves has had a great tournament as well. 18 kills, no errors. She's hit 419 coming into today. And Emma Reeves with 4 kills, 1 error on the day, a couple of digs and a block as well. She really, I believe, that the juniors made a bit of a name for herself in this tournament.
She absolutely has, and you know there are a lot of people who have made names on these 2 teams.
I think playing against Emma, she's one of the smartest hitters we face in conference. Lefty really knows how to use a set that's not perfect, makes really good shots, has defenses dropping back, thinks she's going to swing, she tips, makes really smart decisions, and I think that that's something Harding's kind of ridden on when they've been down, is knowing that she can make a play when it's needed.
Harden there. Nagel with another dig. Number 21 on the afternoon for her. Point Tech. After Harding rattled off 2, Tech has rattled off 3, and enough to get the attention of Coach Meredith here. She takes a timeout. We will take one as well. Set number 3, midway through. And back with more on the GAC Sports Network.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that meant that I could afford to go to college. When I was considering colleges, it was important to find one that my parents and I could afford. So I was happy to find that I could attend the University of Arkansas at Monticello at one of the lowest costs of any four-year college in the state. Affordability, tradition, a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
Well, we're going to be in Bartlesville, Oklahoma in a few months. That's going to go by quickly, I'm sure, with all that goes on in our lives. Basketball season underway in the Great American Conference. I know we're here in the Hot Springs talking some volleyball, but Paul, talk a little basketball with us on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, it's a busy day in the GAC. Thus far, Arkansas Tech's women's basketball team knocking off Southeastern Oklahoma 78-64. Southern Nazarene winners over UAM 59-49. Southwestern Oklahoma beating Henderson State 80-72. East Central beating Harding 76-73. Oklahoma Baptist 96, Southern Arkansas 87. Do not have a final score out of the Ouachita Northwestern Oklahoma game, but Northwestern was leading that game late in the second half.
Thank you, Paul. Coach Beyer actually gets into the action just a little bit now. A little bit too little too late, too, I think. This one's tied up again, 15-all. Paul, really quickly, and I know we have talked about this in each of the previous 2 days. We won't belabor the point because we've done that in each of the previous 2 days. But I think it's worth mentioning what's on the line here for both these teams. And you might think, if you are just watching us for the first time here in this championship Saturday, a team like Arkansas Tech, 34-0 coming in, if there is a spot on the record to make it 34-1, no big deal. You make the field of 8 in the Central region, and you'll be able to move on into the NCAA tournament. Not really the case, is it?
No, it isn't. And you know, this year, what we've seen in the Central Region volleyball poll, it's just exposed the overwhelming flaws in the regional system. You know, there would be regions out there where Arkansas Tech would be right at the top and in position to host a regional. But for whatever reason, the Golden Suns find themselves on the bottom end of it. And I think the thing that's the most frustrating is there are teams ahead of them with 8 losses, 9 losses. And, you know, Arkansas Tech has been punished for a lack of quality losses. That's the only way to look at it. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think if you took some of the midweek games that they played against NAI schools and put them up against a Northern Sun school, your Concordia St. Paul, your Southwest Minnesota State, your Augustanas, if you replace 5 of them and they lose them all, they're probably sitting at 5 or 6 in the region. So I think it's something that needs to be re-examined, the whole system, because ultimately the student athletes are getting punished for where they're playing.
And there you go. So the bottom line then of all of it, as Harding gets a point and retakes the lead. This one's gone back and forth here in the third set and deeper into the third set. It went back and forth in each of the first 2 sets, but at this point in sets 1 and 2, Tech really asserted itself. Harding's still in this in the third set. I guess the bottom line to it all is, yes, Harding does need the win, even at 27-5, to make it into the NCAA tournament in the Central region. But unfortunately for Arkansas Tech, the Golden Suns need the win just as much to get the automatic bid and to be in the NCAA tournament. So that's what's on the line in this one. Not a year and not a sport in which the GAC will have more than one representation in the NCAA tournament.
Well, another thing that's very unfortunate is that if Arkansas Tech does hold on and win this match, they're going to be 35-0 and have the automatic bid, and then they're going to have to match up with Concordia St. Paul.
No, it'll be the 8th seed.
It'll be the 8th seed, and it's just, it's really, again, it shows the fundamental flaw in the system.
So, go ahead, Stormy.
With that region system, I think it's just tough for our conference. I know a lot of other conferences don't experience this, but we go against, at sometimes 11 of the top 25 teams in the country. And, I mean, in a way, our region is stacked. Absolutely, I think. The other 2 conferences have incredible talent. But with that, our conference either needs to get in another region, or, I mean, it's almost impossible to play that schedule or anything close to it because you're looking at the only opportunity to play them are preseason tournaments. Those preseason tournaments cost money because you have to travel to those schools.
Well, most schools are not playing Central Region teams in preseason tournaments. I mean, Concordia St. Paul has not played one. So,
valid points from perspectives within the administration and on the court as well. So, from this fan, if you will, on the outside looking in, I don't like it. That having been said, automatic bid on the line here, and Harding up by 1 in set number 3. Playing to stay alive in this championship match. Tech up 2 sets to none, and now starting to have a little bit more aggressive play. And there's Milnick at the net. Great defense still by Harding. Nice dig by Milnick to keep that alive.
Rallies like that are really crucial, especially at this point in the game, for teams' momentums. And especially for Harding, just believing that they can come back and they can really finish this set off. And rallies like that are the biggest momentum killers and getters.
Well, Harding comes away with the rally, eventually gets the point, and a 2-point advantage now, and looking to stay alive here in this championship match. Paul, for Harding, it's a team that's again lost to Tech in 3 sets, lost to Tech in 5 sets. Trying to extend it right here. I mean, it's one of those things. It could be over quickly, or you really have maybe a breath of fresh air. And to get that 3rd set, it obviously carries momentum beyond just, okay, we got past this, we can go a little farther.
Well, and I think you have to look at how Harding responded. They found themselves in an 0-2 hole. I would say, and I think Stormy probably agree with me, they found another gear here in this 3rd set. And it is very close. I mean, obviously 2 points late in the 3rd set. They're in very good position to try to extend it to a 4th, but it's one that could go either way. Harding has answered the bell thus far, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in these first 1-2 points out of this timeout.
Coach Byers used her final timeout here in the 3rd set. Her team trails by 2, and Harding will serve. Well, the defense there at the net took an awkward bounce off Harding, and Tech benefits.
Well, and right there, Arkansas Tech catching a break. Madison Nagel with a dig that wasn't necessarily the cleanest, but they made something good out of it.
Great job by Harding. We talk about Darnell, there she was. And once again for Harding, Emma Reeves.
Like I said earlier, you can always count on Emma in the clutch moment. She's just a super smart player. She sees the 2 blockers come in and decides to tool it off of them like that.
Harding now 2 points away from taking this set. Harding has that blocked back. Now Tech maybe breathing a little bit. You kind of get the feel, and this is a rare feel, I think, at least during this tournament. Tech maybe against the ropes just a little bit here in this set. And Harding now 1 point away.
And that's really more of a head thing than anything at this point, because Arkansas Tech still is 2 sets in the books right now. So, you know, even if Harding is able to close it out here, the Golden Suns will have that chance to regroup. They would obviously very much like to go on a run here and win by 2, but Harding in the catbird seat when it comes to having the opportunity to prolong the match.
Taylor Lake is one of the best defensive players in our conference. It's fun to watch her just because she's so small, but she's not scared of anything. She'll take some of the hardest hits any hitter can give her and really make a great play on it.
And there it is. Set point going to Harding. And the Lady Bisons still alive in this one. Taking the 3rd set, they trail now 2-1 in this championship match. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. The GAC Volleyball Championship Tournament. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Hi, Connor here to show you around SWOSU and why we love it here.
Well, your friends are more like family.
I love the sports and concerts at the Pioneer Cellular Event Center and more than 100 clubs.
The small class sizes, 100 fields of study, and a nationally recognized pharmacy college. Close to OKC is the best place for me. Come and see for yourself.
I chose SAU because SAU has a very small hometown family feel where every faculty and staff member is willing to help you in any way that they can.
I chose SAU because it helps me develop tight-knit relationships amongst my teammates in the residence halls and with my peers.
I chose SAU because before I flew here from Malaysia, I felt welcomed by the SAU staff and faculty.
I chose SAU because the engineering department has strong industry support that provides internships and jobs after graduation.
Yeah.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
We officially have a match as Harding is on the board with the third set. It's 2-1. Tech still leads in our championship match here in Hot Springs, Bank of the Ozarks Arena. I'm Joey McWilliams along with Paul Smith and Stormy Leonard here and the entire GAC broadcast crew, which, by the way, does a fantastic job. Always great to get to work with all the guys. It's fun to get to see everyone in places like Hot Springs and Bartlesville and coming back to Enid, Oklahoma this year, and Bentonville, places like that. Fantastic crew here, the GAC Sports Network, as Harding gets the first point in the fourth set.
I think Harding's really going to look to strike early in the set and kind of set a precedence for themselves to kind of keep momentum going coming from that win. But it's going to be tough against a team like Arkansas Tech. They don't let other teams really get a lot of momentum because they're able to punch back as soon as they get punched.
Well, and it's still an uphill climb, no doubt about that. Reeves. Milnick stops that again. I would imagine, though, any uphill climb, if you have a little bit of momentum, makes it that much easier, and that's where Harding is right now. Some momentum here in set number 4. Blocked by Harding. 3 points to get the set started.
Harding's definitely going to look at trying to get Zoe a little bit more involved on the offense. She's been one of their shining stars the past 3 years. I've lined up against her in high school and in college, so I think they're going to try to get her going a little bit more, but it's tough with as good of middle blockers that Tech has on both sides defending against her so well.
Well, that was Hardin and Foster before. Hardin and Reeves there now, and Tech finally sending one through with a point here in our fourth set.
And that one coming off the hands of Kenzie Dozier. Kenzie coming in, replacing Hunter Eschner. That's first time we've really seen Coach Byer make the move to the bench to pull somebody in to try to spark Arkansas Tech.
And I just think that just goes to show you how much Coach Byer trusts her team and how well that she's recruited for this year, because they have the ability to pull in someone cold off the bench to come in and play at a crucial time. So I think that's a big deal that her team is able to do that.
One of the things, as you mentioned, recruiting, and I know that you're past that point in your career. They're not recruiting you right now, but you know, what was it like to go through a recruiting process here, even within the state of Arkansas? I mean, what a big deal it is, you know, with volleyball here.
Well, it was a little bit different for me. I came from Texas, and honestly, before Ouachita contacted me, I had never heard of the Great American Conference. I had never heard of Ouachita or really any of the schools in the conference. So in the recruiting process, it was really fun because going through it, I got to know about Ouachita and all the other schools. And being a part of it 3 years now, you just see how more and more talent is filtering into our conference, making it more and more competitive.
No, and I knew you were from Texas, but I know you had to make your way over here. You had to start learning about some of these schools and seeing, hey, wait a minute, what goes on over there? And find out there's actually some good volleyball here in the Natural State.
Yes, it's been a fun time getting to be a part of that, and I always joke with my friends that are from Arkansas. I'm learning new things about Arkansas geography every day. I'm directionally challenged, so it's a little bit of a struggle, but I'm trying to find my way around. So it's been a lot of fun.
Paul, I'll address the recruiting question to you then and shift it around just a little bit as Hardin goes over the line. So that's going to be a point for Arkansas Tech, and Tech really needed that point. Let me ask you a question then, because you get to see a lot of what Tech does in recruiting with all the camps and all the different things that Coach Beyer has going on, and so much good, volleyball being played even at a high school and a junior high level around Russellville. That has to make the recruiting process for players to come to Arkansas Tech that much easier and maybe even that much more welcoming.
I think it is, and I think Coach Beyer's done an outstanding job of making Russellville and Arkansas Tech a very inviting place for people to come play. I mean, it's the success of the program has certainly not hurt, but there's a lot more than just putting a winning team out there when it comes to getting players to come play for you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got players, you got people from Texas. They didn't know there was volleyball in the state of Arkansas.
Well,
and now you have a lot of good friends and family over here, right?
Yes, and I think a lot of the teams actually, I know Harding's one of them. They have quite a few people from Texas. So I think that being with how close Texas and Arkansas are, a lot of coaches are able to recruit well from there because you're still kind of close to home. There's a lot of talent in Texas and in Arkansas that you can pull from, and I know that Coach Beyer does a good job about getting even to some other states around close to Arkansas and really sells her program with its success and retains her players really well.
And one thing that with Coach Beyer has recruited a lot of Midwestern players, with Coach Beyer being from Michigan herself. She's a member of the Grand Valley State University Hall of Fame, the school's all-time leader in assists. And, she has not been afraid to go to Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and pull players from there.
Tech showing some solid defense at the net here in the fourth set. But Harding's still on top for reasons like that. Actually, that was in.
Well, net error called as well, so. But Harding answering the bell again. And, here's something to consider. Harding has 9 points right now. 6 of those points coming out of attack errors by Arkansas Tech.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be another one. I mean, it really was. And that's the point I was trying to make. The defense seems to be looking good for Tech here in the fourth set, but the offense seems to be having some struggles.
Have not been able to establish a rhythm really since midway through the third set.
I think you can give a lot of credit to Harding's defense and the way that they're playing right now, not really letting anything hit the floor. They're really pressing into in the last set and this set, trying to get back up with Tech, and so I think that frustrates a lot of hitters. I think Allie Anderson's done a great job as of recently. She's leading the team in kills right now. She's really finding a way to score when their offense hasn't been scoring as efficiently as they'd like.
Tabitha Spray comes in from the far side. That's her 8th kill of the match.
Again, a good tournament for Spray. Other players we haven't talked to really that much, I don't feel like, about what Taylor Mounts has done. And all she's doing today is leading all players in kills. There's 14 on the day for Harding.
And it looks like she's leading everyone in attempts as well. You can tell Harding's really trying to get her the ball because she's been so successful. And that's something that I think they need to keep doing throughout the rest of this match.
For Harding, Coach Fear had said that it's a team that you just need to concentrate on what they're doing. I asked her about the fact that she was going against a team now for the third time that's undefeated this far into the season. And does that play a factor, do you see that? How do you go against it? And she said, honestly, we really are not seeing that. I'm really not seeing that. You go against Arkansas Tech, you know that they're a tough team, and we just have to play each game for what it is, not for them being undefeated as they are. We just have to keep our composure mentally, and that's what they're doing here. And they did it in set number 3, and doing it here in set number 4, just keeping their composure mentally.
I think what Harding does is, or actually Arkansas Tech does really well, is intimidate teams. Whether or not they might be the best or not the best at any given year, their physical presence is so intimidating that a lot of teams or a lot of players actually alter the way they're playing to adjust to the physicality of Arkansas Tech, even when they don't need to. And I think that plays a lot to Tech's advantage just because they can be so physically intimidating to other teams.
Antenna, and that one's out.
This is definitely one of Harding's strongest rotations, with Harding back up in the front row and still having Emma Reeves as a hitting option, and with Madison Poon down at the back, having played some incredible defense today.
Well, you mentioned it, Stormy. Harding on the front line, not just for her offense, but for her defense as well. Sent that back with authority.
She's definitely a game changer for Harding. I think anyone in the conference would agree with me saying that when she's up there, it's tough to get the ball past her. And I think that a lot of teams do kind of have a game plan against her, trying to move the ball away and run a lot of pin sets. I know that that's something we talk about when we play Harding, just trying to stay away from one of the best, if not the best, blocker in our conference.
Decision by Poon there whether or not to let that one go. Turns out to be the right one. Harding gets another point. Hovering and staying at 2 points ahead of Tech throughout this fourth set.
And Emma Reeves did an outstanding job threading the needle on the back line there. Really just put the ball in a very difficult place for Arkansas Tech to get to.
The deep corners are two of the hardest places to defend on the court, just because you can set up your defense any way you want. But having to make that cross between players and really kind of decide who's going to take that ball is really, really difficult. Even when you practice over and over again, it changes so much in game and just within a point that it's hard to always have something mapped out, and players really have to make moves to make those plays.
Just as Tech gets within one again, another unforced error. Service error that time against Tech. Fourth of the contest today. To go with 7 aces, though, so I guess if you're going to say that it's a wash, it's actually to the Tech benefit, because that's a +3. Back to within one again.
That's another great kill by Allie Anderson, and a good decision by Amanda Milnick, trying to get the ball out to the pin with the shorter blocker of Heisner on the outside. I think that with Allie's reach, she can really go over almost any blocker. And so it's really crucial for Amanda to get her all the way out to the pin to be successful right there.
Well, you mentioned Milnick. That'll be her 38th assist on the afternoon, to go with 9 digs and 7 kills. She's dangerously close to a triple-double.
Really key on that last sequence was the dig by Marissa Drevnock, keeping that alive. A little bit out of position, but she made it work.
You have to wonder about that for Taylor Mounts. She just backed up and fired, and good things happened. Went awkwardly off a player or two for Tech.
I think that's something both teams can focus on, is no matter the score, no matter the time of the game, is always keep hitting. I think a lot of teams, when they get down, get a little bit tip happy, and that takes away from their aggressive offense. And I think both these teams capitalize on aggressive offenses, so they need to keep doing that.
Well, we've seen the aggressive offense from Arkansas Tech over the course of the past 3 days. Talking with Coach Beyer about that, and I've asked the coaches, what each day does it take? And that time, as Tech had gotten back to a tie contest, Harding again ahead by 1. Coach Beyer actually talked about the passing for her team. That was key today. And I asked her, I said, what is it to that? Because your team seems to strike so quickly. How much time do you have to pass? She said, well, when we do, we need to pass it well. We need to keep Amanda up within that 10-foot line. If we have her within that 10-foot line, we've passed well, we know that our offense is in good shape. And there she is.
I think that's something that kind of puts Tech at that other level that a lot of teams can't compete with, is their power that they have in system. It's hard for a middle blocker to know where the ball is going and set up an efficient block just because they have so many weapons, and Amanda does a great job about spreading out the ball and really getting everyone involved.
Too much momentum from Tabitha Spray that time. And the point to Harding. They get it right back. It's still a 1-point contest now. And this one is tight here in the Bank of the Ozarks Arena.
It's about what you'd expect out of a matchup between these two teams.
Falls for Harding for Taylor Mounts once again. She takes a seat knowing that she's done her job in her rotation.
Yeah, you see her coming off with a smile, kind of feeling a little lucky after that kill, but sometimes hitters get in a swing of things and almost everything's falling for her, so I think that she should still keep swinging and keep attacking Tech's defense.
I agree. The last two, it's looks like it's felt a little awkward, but they've gone through.
That's a great dig by Taylor Legg to really keep Harding in that play and force Tech to make that hitting error.
Timeout on the court as Harding's on top by 3. Coach Christy Meyer takes the timeout, and we will as well. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
When I set out to explore my future, I encountered many paths. I looked for a university that would prepare me for a successful career. A place to get rooted in an actively involved community. And find friends who would help shape my future. The decision was clear. Arkansas Tech University, the natural choice.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Well, let's see what Tech can do coming out of the timeout. Not the largest lead here in the fourth set, but one of the largest at 3 points. And nice defense from Harding twice. You have to wonder how many times, though, Harding's defense can withstand just a repeated attack.
They're doing a great job in this rally right here. I think the girls are making really good plays, and everyone on their side's kind of moving towards the ball and really being able to make good plays.
A little bit of a miscommunication from Harding that time, just trying to keep the ball up, and Lake had nothing to do. Looked like she wanted to set it. She realized she had to get it over. She sends it wide. So Tech fortunate to get the first point out of the timeout. 20-18 the score.
Emma does a great job of attacking that corner. Like I said earlier, it's one of the hardest places to defend, and even if you're not getting a kill right off the bat, it usually takes the setter out of system and forces your team to maybe use a libero, an outside hitter, to set someone else, which makes it 10 times more difficult to attack and really be aggressive with it.
Well, Reeves gets the kill. That's her 9th on the day. And a service ace for Harding, just the 5th today. And that prompts Coach Christy Meyer to take her second timeout. Her team trails by 4 here in set number 4. Her team leads by a margin of 2-1 on the afternoon overall in the match. Paul?
In this fourth set, Harding is playing the best they've played all match. Only 2 attack errors, really 2 errors of any type, no service errors. They have had an outstanding set. You want to talk about playing pretty close to error-free volleyball? That's what Harding is doing right now, and really, it's what they've done over the last 2 sets. If you talk to me after set number 2, they were making a lot of errors out there, a lot of unforced errors. They have cleaned that up, and what we talked about. They've been performing so well in all the other parts of the game, and now they've brought those errors down. That's allowed them to get back into this and be in a position to send this to a 5th set.
We talked about the errors too. Arkansas Tech in just this 4th set, 9 of the 25 errors on the day have come here in set number 4. It's been a tough go.
9 attack errors, 1 service error in this set. 10 of Harding's 22 points have come from Arkansas Tech errors.
And I think that's kind of something Harding has been doing really well all season. is you earn your points, but you also make teams mess up to give you those points. They really take advantage of the errors other teams make, and I think that's something that's been key to their success this season.
22-19, Tech gets one back again coming out of the timeout. But for the Golden Suns, they're going to need this run to last a little bit longer here if they're going to take this in 4 sets. And leaves. Puts a stop to any thought like that. And Harding now 2 points away from sending this to the 5th set.
And there's no margin for error for Arkansas Tech here in set number 4. Harding 2 points away from getting it there.
You see Emma come off with a lot of emotion, getting really pumped up for her team, kind of being that emotional leader that we saw Greer be a little bit earlier. And I think that Harding really hones in on that.
Lexi Johnston. They haven't called her name that much in a little while. She's had a great tournament so far. That's just her 7th kill on the day. And really, when you look at it, you look at where she is, it's just her 23rd attack on the day. The offense has not gone through her as much in this match today.
And I think that's something that Tech would really, really want to address if we do go into a 5th set, is just getting her back involved. And just like Harding needed to get Zoe involved, I think that both these teams kind of live through their middle blockers because they're so talented. They're the 2 top middle blockers in the conference. And I think when both of them are on, these teams play their best. And it's been tough for Tech to get her the ball as much as they would like, just because their passing has been stressed a little bit with the aggressive play of Harding.
Set point now for Harding is this great placement by Harding. Milnick, the block. And we are going to see this thing go the distance. Harding, trailing 2-0, has come back and taken sets 3 and 4. And we will see a decisive 5th set in just a moment. A fantastic championship Saturday here in Hot Springs. We'll be back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
Well, if you were looking for a short match today, just because Arkansas Tech put on the uniforms, that's not the case. We're going the full distance here. Set number 5 on the way. Joey McWilliams along with Paul Smith, Stormy Leonard, and our GAC Sports Network crew here in Hot Springs. Bank of the Ozark Arena has seen 4 sets, and we have not decided anything, Paul.
We have not. For the second time this year, Harding and Arkansas Tech will go to 5 sets. In that first matchup, Arkansas Tech won the 5th set 20-18.
Now, that's taking 5 sets and beyond.
Yes, it is. That's adding bonus to bonus volleyball there. And, you know, Harding had 3 match points in that 5th set. Arkansas Tech was able to come back.
I think you can look at the numbers and notice that Tech actually did a pretty good job offensively, having 18 kills in one set. That's a really big number, and most of the time teams will win that. But I think that 10 attack error really kind of counteracted the success they had and gave a lot of success to Harding. So it'll be interesting to see how well they come out in this 5th set.
Well, Tech lineup out on the court, and the Tech faithful cheering them on. A team that's won 34 games with no losses this season. They need to win 1 more set.
It all comes down to this: 15 points, win by 2, and the winner goes to the NCAA tournament.
Other numbers really quickly to look at. You talk about Heisner and Milnick, the 2 setters, both all GAC first teamers. Heisner with 45 assists, Milnick with 42. Milnick also has 7 kills to go with that. Heisner already with the double-double, as well as Milnick, as each of them into double figures in digs. Heisner with 11 of those, Milnick with 10. We look out on the court right now for Harding, number 2 seed. Front line of Hardin, Heisner, and Reeves. Back line of Lake, Poon, and Foster. For Tech on the front line, it's Johnston, Milnick, Anderson. On the back line, Drevenok, Eschner, and Nagel. That one sent long, so Tech won the board first here in this 5th set.
I think Tech really thought about this lineup, having Allie come up and start on the front row because she's been so effective on their offense. They really want to have that offensive punch right at the beginning.
That one will go to Tech. Eschner was there, Anderson there, but it was blocked out.
And in this 5th set, you're going to see a lot of sense of urgency out of both coaches. So you'll see early timeouts. You'll see challenges used as timeouts.
We have not seen that yet today, but I agree, Paul. Well, everything landing outside the orange here in the first 3 points. Tech still on top 2-1. Tech won the first set 25-17, the second set 25-20. Harding won the third set 25-21 and the 4th set 25-20. That brings us to where we are right now.
Joey, as they say in one of my all-time favorite movies, the orange zone is for loading and unloading only. There's no unloading in the blue zone.
Unfortunately for both these teams, they've unloaded all 4 points in the blue zone. Make it 5.
Coming out fast is such an urgency in the 5th set like this because you only have 15 points. So I think both teams are really pressing to try to get a lead right at the beginning. But like we saw earlier this year in their last meeting, teams could go up 11-8 and Harding still came back and really pushed Tech to its limits in that 5th set. They're just a team you can never count out.
Well, that was a nice adjustment from Johnston. And Harding now takes it the other way. Back and forth here, 4-3.
They bring Taylor Mounts back in, which is really important for Harding being the most successful hitter in the entire match. So I think that they could really make a run with these 2 hitters up there right now.
Got a sneaking suspicion that 15 points are not going to win this set.
I think you're probably right, Paul. Rogers has that one blocked out. You know, this is an Arkansas Tech team, by the way. They were in the 5th set back in 2014 and actually trailed Southern Nazarene 11-4 in that 5th set. Came back and won 11 of the last 13 points to take the match 15-13 in the 5th set. Back and forth here, though. Harding back on top by 1.
Not sure that I've ever seen anything quite like that one.
Oh, my goodness.
It's been fun to watch these 2 teams and their success in the middle, not just from the hitting and blocking side, but both the middles actually have very good serves and have been able to put a lot of pressure on each of the teams, which is something you don't see because they aren't as defensively sound, but they're still able to make runs with both their middle blockers back there serving.
And that one does not go over. Anderson blocked at the net. Harding on top by 2. Anderson leaves no room for doubt that time.
Not at all, and like I said, that's attacking the middle blocker, playing defense, which isn't typical for most teams, but a lot of the teams have their libero serve for one middle and let one middle stay in and play, and Zoe's done that this season, and so is Lexi. But they've both done a great job about being good defenders on the back row as well.
I think at this point, if you see anything more than a 2-point swing, you're going to see a very quick timeout.
Well, Harding got 2, Tech got 2. Let's test that theory, Paul, if Tech gets a 3rd one here. There will be a court switch midway through this as well. Well, the 3 consecutive points for Tech.
And you're right.
Paul Smith, the prognosticator. We're going to keep it right here through this timeout as the teams will switch here in just a moment, courts, as both teams will have played. Well, in essence, it'll be two and a half sets on each side of the court. Haven't reached that point just yet, as with 3 consecutive points from Tech, Coach Meredith Beer takes the timeout, slows things down just a little bit. It's been a fun contest, though.
Oh, my goodness. I think that's an understatement. Both of these teams, no matter what happens, they're leaving it all out there on the court tonight.
No doubt. And I would say also, whoever gets the automatic bid from the Great American Conference will represent this conference well.
Absolutely.
Coming out of the timeout, Harding took its first timeout here in the 5th set. Darnell to serve. And Heisner had to go back a little bit to make that set. Now she's closer and effective.
Another great swing by the freshman who's really just stepped into the role that her sister left her and really made it her own this season, and it's been crucial to Harding's success. And I think both freshman middle blockers on each team have really taken control of their position and made a big difference for each team.
Smith with the kill. Smith at 8 on the afternoon. Nagel brings it back in, and Tech sends this across. Opportunity, Heisner. And Reeves can't complete it. It does go out. And we're at the midpoint of set 5. Harding with a 1-point advantage. It will take 2 to win. I think this is definitely one that I'll remember. I'll talk about this one for a while.
And I'm sure both of these teams, no matter who wins or lose, the loser kind of having a little chip on their shoulder coming in the next season. The winner hoping to defend their title.
Harding on top by 2 now. We have a timeout on the court, so we will take this as well. Harding on top 9-7. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu. Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Another huge play by the freshman middle blocker, really keying in on Arkansas Tech's middle blocker and just pressing hard over, knowing that they were going to set Greer and just being able to press through that ball.
It's possible to think that a 3-point advantage might be tough to overcome. As Nagel sends this over. That one goes out, so Tech now back to within 2.
Joey Harding is looking to make its first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2005.
We have a challenge. I think Coach Spears looking for a touch maybe off one of the blocker's hands. Looked like the Harding players were pretty sure that it happened, but I mean, in the game we all kind of get in that moment and really think things are going our way, and sometimes these challenges don't always show that.
As Paul mentioned too, an opportunity like this on a challenge to slow down the action just a little bit, get a bit of a breather, can be used as a timeout as well. These coaches, not officially used as a timeout, but they take advantage of it as one. So we see Nagel getting it back across.
Yeah, I think they're looking for a touch off this set right here from Heisner on the outside from Mount.
Tough to see from that angle.
It's tough to say. Was it the net, or they're going to get in close on this one? This might be the best angle yet. I don't know.
It's so hard to find absolute certain information to overturn anything. So even if there's a touch, it might be too difficult to see. Oh, looks like it might have gotten her outside blocking hand, maybe.
I don't know.
But it's hard to see because you usually see those fingertips fly back. And
yeah, I was going to say, I'm not seeing a fingertip move. I think it does go to the outside.
I can't
I'm
tell.
more certain now than I was before. I felt like it did go to the outside.
You can usually tell on a blocker's face, but I mean, Tabitha turns away right away, so you can't really see if she shows any sign of touching it or not.
They're going to get another angle on this. You know, the question is, what's kind of the burden that you have to meet? Does it have to be conclusive? Because
that's one of the toughest things to
that
prove.
is such a tough angle.
Yeah, if you have to be conclusive there, I don't think you're going to be able to overturn something.
I don't think you can overturn that based off what we've seen. I mean, they're asking for angle after angle, which I just don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah. Well, and you know, at this point in a match, you talk about where every point's important. I don't think that there's a point that is more important right now. I mean, a swing like that. Now, the rally, and we talked about this more than once on the air over the course of the weekend, was the rally completed? And I believe it was.
And the ruling here was it was inconclusive.
Yes. So you can't overturn that. A 2-point swing there would have been huge for Harding.
Absolutely.
Lady Bisons can afford to swing a little bit more freely here. Defense as the Tech line stands up. Johnston and Spray that time.
And now a critical serve coming for the Golden Suns with Madison Nagel, the senior, stepping to the line.
I think the service becomes less aggressive at this point in the contest.
Yeah, I think players focus a lot more on getting in rather than maybe getting that ace that they might be a little bit more aggressive with in another set.
In the net, point Harding.
And again, this is what we've seen over the last 2 sets. It's Harding getting that 2-point lead. Tech being able to pull it to 1, but never really able to get over the hump.
And that's something that Harding wants to keep, at least that 1-point lead, just to give them a little bit of breathing room, if there is any in these sets like this.
The defense again, big for Tech. And once again, it's Johnston and Spray.
And something that I think I haven't really mentioned about Tech is the fact that Amanda, being 5'10", really doesn't ever leave a short blocker on the court for Tech. I know with Harding, Heisner's a little bit smaller than Reeves, which makes a big difference. And obviously on my team, I'm one of the shortest members of the team, and so there's quite a big difference between 5'6" and 5'11".
Milnick, again, aggressive. And her 8th kill of the afternoon has tied this contest at 11.
And here we see it. She just loads up and finds that back corner.
Just when you think she's going to be that 5'10" setter, she turns into the offense herself. Three points for Arkansas Tech. And this game is turned. Timeout Harding. We'll take it with them back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
No, please, please, oh!
The running of the Bulldogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Well, the excitement is building here in the Bank of the Ozarks Arena. Arkansas Tech has gone on a 3-point run and now lead here in this fifth set, 12-11. The defense again, and Lexi Johnson again on that front line, this time along with Hunter Eschner. And Tech now 2 points away from closing out. Again, fifth set, played to just 15 points, win by 2. Service from Tabitha Spray, and awkwardly received, serve received, a problem for Harding. And the Lady Bisons now trail by 3 as Arkansas Tech is looking at match point in a GAC championship. The block, the points, the championship, and Arkansas Tech at 35-0 takes the Great American Conference's automatic bid. The undefeated season survives. And what an amazing display as Arkansas Tech scores the last 6 points to win the fifth set and the championship.
I think both teams had an outstanding match, taking each other to the very end, really working hard and just making incredible plays on both ends of the floor.
At the end, it was the defense for Arkansas Tech. Lexi Johnston on the line, along with Tabitha Spray, along with Hunter Eschner. Can't say enough about what Amanda Milnick has done. Nearing a triple-double. She was 2 kills shy of a triple-double, although her final kill, Stormy, I believe was the most important of the afternoon.
I agree. I think that just kind of sparked and kept that momentum that they had in this set and really took them to the end.
Trailing 11-9 in the fifth set, Arkansas Tech scored the last 6 points and won 3-2 over Harding in the 2017 championship match. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be back in a moment as we get a chance to talk with a couple of the players and the winning coach from Arkansas Tech. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
I knew engineering would be a challenge, but that hasn't stopped me. Here, I could create a new organization and networking opportunities for women in STEM fields. At Arkansas Tech, I'm more than just a student. My name is Emily Torrealba, and I am a trailblazer.
Arkansas Tech champions, the 2017 GAC Volleyball Tournament, and we pitch it to Paul Smith.
Thanks, Joey. I'm sitting here with Amanda Milnick from the Golden Suns volleyball team. You finished the 35-0 season. What is going through your mind right now?
A million thoughts. Just, I cannot believe we finished, and I'm so proud of my team and how we pulled through at the end. And sorry, I'm trying to stop myself from crying. But everybody just did what they needed to do. We were calm at the end, and I'm just so proud of every single person and Coach B and all of our coaches, and just excited.
You started off really strong, 2 sets. Harding came back, kind of what you would expect out of the matches you've had thus far. When you saw the team was down 2, kind of late in the 5th set, did you say anything to the teammates? What was said out there on the court?
We all just tried to calm down. We were really scrambling at the end, and we just needed to calm down, know what our mission was. And Harding is a really good team, and we have played them twice, so we all just went to our positions, knew what we had to do, and took care of business.
Talking about the elephant in the room, the team came in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after seeing that last regional poll. You won't be denied now. You're going to the NCAA tournament.
Sorry, that's just incredible, and I know our entire team is so proud that we came in and we took care of business and that we showed the NCAA that we're here and we deserve our spot in the top 8.
Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to courtside.
Well, Paul, a fantastic match we had an opportunity to witness here. Joey McWilliams sitting alongside Stormy Leonard right now. And Stormy, I mean, you come in and you mentioned before the outset of this contest you thought it would go 5 sets. Absolutely fantastic. Think about that for just a moment as we throw it to Paul now as he gets to visit with another member of this Arkansas Tech team, a senior, Paul.
Thank you, Joey. I'm here with senior Madison Nagel, and you know, you've gone through your 4-year career here at Arkansas Tech. You've been a part of some great teams. This one had something special.
Yes, this is by far my favorite team. Just the chemistry on the court and off the court even has just been phenomenal all season. It really showed tonight when we were down and came back.
What does it mean to you that you're going to be able to close out your career in the NCAA tournament?
I have no words. It's bittersweet. I'm sad to be leaving, but it's an awesome season to end on.
How does it feel, 35-0?
Again, no words. We get to eat wherever we want, though, so that's exciting.
Where do you want to eat?
I'm thinking Buffalo Wild Wings, but I'm not sure.
We're thinking Buffalo Wild Wings. Send it back to you.
All right, Paul, they're about to announce the all-tournament squad, so we will throw it to courtside and Troy Mitchell.
Ladies and gentlemen,